Hey guys, Afshin again, and welcome back to another Vex Onshape tutorial. Today we're looking at how to easily create a highly accurate funnel out of plastic. In this video, you'll also see how I curve the plastic and how to export and measure it so you know it's within standards, even when it's curved. If you're new to Onshape though, and you want to learn how to start CADing a robot, making drawings, check out the playlist in the top right. But anyways, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so to start, I'll delete this and then we can get building. So first, before you want to create a funnel, you always want to know where to mount it. The way this drivetrain is, I have a mounting hole right here. Yeah, those supposed to be Odon pods, but that's not the point of today's video. If you guys haven't checked out the Odon pod videos, those will be linked at the top right, where I make a leaf spring and an adjustable one. But anyways, let's start actually making the funnel. So to start that, we'll do this tool, which is create part studio in context. And I find that pretty nice. You don't have to go to another part studio. It automatically creates it and puts you in context. And then we can start sketching. So how I usually like doing funnels is I'll create my points of where it's connecting, and then I'll actually do the curve. And I'll have the points where it connects actually be completely flat. So we can match up from here to here, and we can have that flat, come down, and then we're gonna dimension that later, make that, and make that a construction. And then we want this to be vertical with this. Wait, want this to be coincident with this dot, and then it should load. We want to set this to 0.065 because that's about the size of plastic. And then we want to do our other side where it's connecting. So for that, I want to do here and here, so I can just get a straight line. And then, okay, we can just make it horizontal after. Make sure it's not construction. Have these horizontal to each other. There we go. And then have these incident to each other so that they're touching. And get the rest of our lines for this. And then we want this to be the same size as this because it's still plastic. And then we can do our curves. If you guys are wondering why I'm doing it from the top, it's because I just find that easier because then you don't have to actually manually make the curve. Making the curve this way is just easier in my perspective. So there's that. And then we don't want that to be constrained. And then the other one. And then make sure that's not constrained. Then we can make these connected and it should automatically constrain it. We can check if it's hitting anything else. It looks pretty good on all the sides, not hitting the motor. So then we can go and extrude it. And then extruding it 1 inch because the whole length of this thing is 1 inch. And then from there, we can make our things to actually attach to stuff. So also there's supposed to be a hole in the standoff. I just didn't create it before, but you guys can create it when you guys actually make it. And then we create this. Have everything line up. Oh, I want to do it from the back. Otherwise, it will only extrude that front and things will be a little goofy. So like that. I want this to be kind of like here. Oh. Come on. There you go. Load, load, load. Okay, and then we want our point here. And to do that, to get it exactly in the middle, the easiest way to do that is use the midpoint tool. And then just have these on the side of the lines. And then we can set everything like horizontal and vertical to that. So it's exactly in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. And then just extrude this real fast. Make sure it's only 0.065. and then go to the other side. If you guys saw the sheet metal tool video, you could also do this with the sheet metal. I just personally find it easier to do it without the sheet metal, so I do it that way. And then we have our square again. We can align it up so that it matches, and then just kind of select a point, and then set everything so that it's perfect. So and then adjust these. Adjust these. Come on. And just do it. If line to line ever doesn't work, just do a point to line, and that always works. So that's if these lines are not exactly straight. That happens sometimes, but you don't gotta worry about that. And then we can set our everything to be midpointed. So that's midpointed that, and that should be midpointed that. And since it's copy pasted, that'll automatically come out correctly. And then you can make our extrude for that. You could also do the holes before doing everything, but I typically just like doing all the holes at the end. So then we can make one more sketch right here and have that just be in the center of this. You could also make it be 2 holes. For this, I'm just gonna do 1, and then we can select our hole tool, have it set at number 18 on drilled, and that just makes it so it's nicest, I think, at least. And then make sure we have all our sketches up so you can see everything we want to drill. There and there. And even though it has the air, it's working, so I don't know why it needs the air. Technically, you could separate it out into different holes and then there wouldn't be an error, but it's fine regardless. So then we have our actual curved part. And then from there, making this curved part in real life is pretty hard, especially if you want it to be accurate. So to do that, we can use something called a jig. And basically, when using a jig, you just want to create this like another piece that's you kind of wrap around. So what you can do is you can 3D print this jig that I'm about to make, and then when you go to actually bend this, you just bend it around that jig. So to make this jig that I'm talking about, all you have to do is that and kind of just follow the curves of everything. So this ends here. We go from the top, it's a little easier that way. Make sure everything is following all the curves, and then from there you could just set one big kind of square type thing, or quarter circle, I guess. And then you can extrude that just an inch the other way, and then make sure you have it as a new piece. Otherwise, because it's supposed to be a different piece, it's not supposed to be part of the actual plastic. So then we do that, and then if you want, you can also do like the holes. So if you want to plan out the holes, you could say, oh hey, I want a hole here, here, and here. So then if you're to do a drill press, you could do a drill press, and then you could drill straight through the jig. Oh, looks like it clicked the wrong. No, it clicked the wrong hole there. Yeah, there we go. And there's that hole. It goes through both sides perfectly. And that's your jig. And then to actually check the curvature and make sure it fits in size, the easiest way to do that is to go to your show analysis tool in the bottom right, and then you can go to flatten surfaces. Oh. And then you can just click flatten. Oh, you need to select what you need to actually flatten. So you want to select all the outside edges and then flatten. And then you can see kind of a map of what it's going to look like. But to actually get this cut, like say you're going to cut it with a laser cutter or you're going to cut it with a CNC, then you need a DXF, and to get that you can just go show export tools and set it to a DXF, and this is also how you can measure to see if it's the right size. So then once I set it to a DXF, I'm going to export it. Export it on my end. I can go and import it now just by going and opening that file. So now when I go and open that file, it should show up. Almost. Load faster Onshape. Yeah, seems like my internet's a little clunky right now. Let me try reloading it. Oh, there it is. So from here, now it's really easy to measure like what, how the dimensions of this. So if we go and measure like from here to over here. Oh, and to measure, you just use the distance tool, by the way. So yeah, measuring from here to the end here. And you can see the distance is 8.6939. So just barely off of off of in size. So you can do this to make sure you're actually in size when you go to inspection, because especially for curved pieces of plastic, they may ask, I know a lot of judges don't, but if they're picky, they may ask, hey, are you sure that this is within size? And they may ask for like a CAD or something. So it's really nice to just double check and have this, and then you can do the same thing with the other side. So that's 2.23, so that's definitely within size. And then you can also, from here, with this DXF, you can go and send it to a CNC, send it to a laser cutter, and go cut it out real nice. But that's basically everything for making these highly accurate funnels. After that, to just put it in, I'm gonna make this red. Boom, 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 boom. After that, put it in, just insert, make sure you insert the right thing. And then just made it as we've done so many times before. Oh. Boom, boom, boom. Please? Load? Yeah, it seems my Onshape's getting a little buggy. But yeah, and then this also acts as a nice little drivetrain, holy smokes, as a wheel protector. So you can do that. I would recommend having a mount here. So another thing, if you wanted to like improve on this or something, you could have it so that it mounts on here as well. And yeah, that's basically everything for curved funnels. If you guys wanted to do straight funnels or just like top funnels, I also have a video on that, which I'll link on the top right. Just a quick note, that takes 2 times the amount of plastic if you want to do top and bottom, but it also means you don't have to do curved plastic. So if you don't have access to like a heat gun or something, and just general tools to curve things, then you could try that, especially with like the low plastic count and everything. But anyways, other than that, that's everything for this. If you guys like the video, like down below, comment what you guys want to know next, what you guys learned, and subscribe, of course. But anyways, have fun, and we'll see you guys next time.